Hello friends, James Stevenson back with your weekly subscriber exclusive episode of James and Loki's. As I punch the Loki's bed mode on my OBS studio. Gems of the Week, the series in which Loki and I go through all the posts we liked on X over the previous week and talk about why we liked them. Here's Loki. He is maybe gonna let me handle the narration this week, and I will pick right up where I left off last week with this post from Jeff Lutz talking about how the China EV market is growing now greater than 50%. But where are the pages and pages of news articles and hours of wall-to-wall coverage on how BYD, the number one maker of EVs, had a year-over-year profit decline of 30% out of nowhere? You won't get that coverage from Fred Lambert, friends. He only likes to hate hard on Tesla. He's who's hating hard on Tesla all the time nowadays. Is there anybody who has fallen farther as a fan of Tesla over the past 10 years than Fred Lambert? Maybe Greg Wester, maybe Yaman Tajdavar, maybe you can think of somebody else who should be on the podium taking the gold or silver or bronze medal from one of those three that I named. Maybe I should make a poll on X. Here's one from Hank Scorpio at Hank Scorpio 2K. This is a joke where the profile here is exactly who the profile pic says it is. This is a Simpsons villain after the style of a James Bond style villain. Scorpio, he'll... man, I forgot the lyrics to the song. Something. With his dreams of power and wealth, beware of Scorpio. His twisted two obsessions are his plot to rule the world and his employees' health. It's very silly. Watch the original. Don't rely on my fuzzy memory of how that song goes. All right, what are we talking about? Let's get the context. Oh, there is no context. This is a standalone post. Around here, many of us are up to date on almost everything that happens in Elon Musk's companies. Easy for me to say. What I see outside of here is that people have no idea about everything that's going on in the ecosystem of Tesla. They only know the cars and they think they're going bankrupt. No idea about Optimus, Tesla Energy, or autonomous driving. Practically no one knows that 2 months ago, they started with the robotaxi, which I think is the beginning of a revolution. SpaceX rings a bell for some, but because their rockets explode, which is what the media highlight. No one knows what Starship or Falcon is. Few people know about Starlink's satellite internet. This is funny because probably of all companies that have ever delivered useful payload to orbit, SpaceX has the lowest percentage of rockets that blew up, right? As a percent of all flights attempted. Test flights go wrong all the time for reasons Elon Musk has explained many times in video interviews. Everything has to go right to deliver useful payload to orbit. Nothing is allowed to go wrong. If anything goes wrong, you get a rapid, unscheduled disassembly, a RUD. The feats that Neuralink is achieving are also not widely known, and I find them incredible. Everybody should find it incredible what Neuralink is doing. The Boring Company isn't exactly the crown jewel, but it's something curious that no one knows about either. The Boring Company is doing useful work. Like, the world is a better place with the Boring Company than they would be without it. They haven't changed the whole world, but the parts of the world they've tried to impact, they've improved, right? We know that XAI is also out there, but outside, only ChatGPT is talked about. Yeah, ChatGPT gets great press, kind of like Waymo gets great press. And Twitter, here there is more perception mainly because of the name change and the uproar that arose when Musk took control. What I find funny is the share icon for stories like news articles is still the bluebird, the old Twitter bluebird. That's how resistant to change the rest of the world is to Elon changing it from Twitter to X. What do I mean? I have the impression that there is no knowledge of everything that Musk is undertaking. The media stick to the meme, the clickbait, the controversy, the sensationalism, but it seems that there is no willingness on anyone's part to give visibility to everything that Musk's ecosystem does. I really don't know if there is willingness or not, but the fact is that it doesn't reach people, and that's a shame. And this must have been originally in Spanish, because these replies are in Spanish. And I'm not going to rate the translation because all I see here is English. So, oh, auto-translated from Spanish by Grok. Okay. So, good stuff there from Hank Scorpio 2K. I don't even think I follow Hank Scorpio. I saw the follow button there, so I definitely don't. But give Hank Scorpio a follow if you want. Only 56 likes on there, so that's one of the gems that I found for you this week that maybe you hadn't seen. Here's one from Gavin Shoebridge at Kiwi EV. This Tesla owner had a chip implanted under his skin to help unlock the car doors, which automatically unlock anyway, thanks to the phone in your pocket. What? Why? Why would you do this? Don't do this. Don't get a chip implanted under your skin to let you open your car door, friends. Just carry your phone on you, like you probably already do anyway. Here's one from Farzad at Farziness. I'm beginning to think that Tesla will sell the Cybercab with a steering wheel and pedals. They just won't call it Cybercab. What if Cybercab is the two-door, two-seater without a steering wheel and pedal that Tesla fully owns and operates, but the same exact car with a steering wheel and pedal is the Model 2? I've always thought Tesla's ability to marry supply and demand with their factory output will be a massive challenge with the current regulatory regime worldwide plus their planned production capacity. Why force yourself to sit on idle capacity when a steering wheel plus pedal would allow you to reach millions of units per year while regulations catch up? Retweeting Nick Cruz Patade saying Cybercab will not be sold with a steering wheel. Lars Moravi, VP of Tesla Vehicle Engineering, said some prototype Cybercabs have steering wheels because Tesla needs to have a way to test stability control, develop firmware, and also crash test it. If you see the RC fleet running around with steering wheels, that's because we had to find a way to test it. They're not for sale. It's just a test feature only. Retweeting Joe Tegmeyer, who had drone flyover still images from Giga Texas with more Cybercabs in them, and this is the one that had a steering wheel in it. So I will back out of here and say, yeah, in the Walter Isaacson book, he talked about how when they pitched Cybercab to Elon, they said, hey, we should make a version of this that has a steering wheel and pedals. And he said, no steering wheel and pedals. So maybe he has moved to a different place now with a different perspective on the same question. And maybe Farzad is right. I clicked like on it to let you, dear viewer, see what this post says. I don't agree yet. I haven't seen the evidence from Elon or sources close enough to him to buy into this rumor yet. It's not new. It's been around for a while. And Walter Isaacson said, no, Elon sees clearly a future with no steering wheels and no pedals. All input is error. And he needs his team thinking about a future without steering wheels or pedals. So that's what he's instructed them to do with Cybercab. To the best of my knowledge, I would be happy to be wrong about that. Here's one from James Dalma. Okay, a little more color on this. Let's see the context here. It's a thread begun by Dum Dum John Bryant, longtime Tesla Q member, trying to make fun of Jeff Lutz, who you saw as the last post that I liked last week, where he just said, hey, it's a good idea to have a safety driver because that way you don't have accidents that people will talk about endlessly, right? So this other hater, Ricochet Rowdy, longtime Tesla Q member, said Jeff does not understand most things. That's it, hashtag Tesla. What did John Bryant say? Who cares? So I replied, the Jeff Lutz should take a pointer from you, John, by posting insanely idiotic things to attack Tesla. John had said he doesn't mind saying the most insanely idiotic things to defend Tesla. So I said, people who live in insanely idiotic houses shouldn't throw insanely idiotic stones, John Bryant. Tesla isn't even in the game. Waymo has solved it, and Cruise is very close. Argo is one disengagement per 10,000 miles. Mobileye with cameras only is massively ahead of Tesla. Massively ahead. All right, so this company is operating a driverless taxi service. This company folded. That was very close. This company doesn't exist anymore, or if they do, they don't offer any driverless ride-hailing service, and neither does this one, Mobileye, but Tesla does. What else do we have here? It's John Bryant in 2021 also saying, check out Mobileye Waymo and consider this article with the famous Sam Abu El-Samid chart of followers, challengers, contenders, and leaders, where Tesla was the worst company on the chart, and the best companies were Waymo, Cruise, Intel Mobileye. Let's see, what else? Zoox is actually still around. They're operating only in Las Vegas, but that is someplace. Volkswagen Group, way out in front of Tesla. Tesla is doing very poorly indeed. On both strategy and execution are the dimensions of the quadrant plot there. And then these are screenshots that I pulled from the NHTSA website of driverless or autonomous driving ride-hailing service accident reports. So you can just see, scanning down the list here, these are all collisions. You find the word collision over and over again. A lot of collisions and a lot of Waymo. And on the next screen, this one looks like the previous one because there's a whole lot of Waymo here and there's a whole lot of collisions over here, right? So I asked Grok about that. Small X account. Our man does not sound like he's even tried FSD. Would be very interesting to know if that's the case. Baffling. John saying Waymo goes 2.3 million miles per at-fault accident. So I said, I can tell you one of your mistakes was agreeing with John Bryant math. He said, I agree with your math. Never agree with John Bryant math unless you have no other choice. Bear in mind, these are not all accidents, only NHTSA reportable collisions, which I believed involved only reporting airbag deployment or an injury requiring medical attention. That's what I thought the reporting requirements were for these 464 collisions. Provided an answer to my question, hey Grok, how many collisions has Waymo reported to NHTSA so far in 2025? And over the same reporting time period, how many driverless ride-sharing miles did their operation log? So 62 million driverless ride-sharing miles, 464 collisions, or about 6 collisions per million miles. Is what that ratio breaks down to. James Dalma is helping me out with some context. My other reply was based on stats from another summary, so I decided to pull the data myself. NHTSA requires reporting all collisions, but they include such minimal descriptive data that it's impossible to get a feel for the incident. Your government in action, Americans. Their reporting is categorized by severity, with more severe accidents requiring more prompt reporting, 1 day versus 5 day versus monthly reports. There were about 35 reports of the highest severity for 2025, which is still a lot, right? That's still what, like 5 per month over the first 7 months of the year? Luckily, most incidents occur in the state of California, where they have the most AV activity, and the DMV there requires more detailed reporting, including some useful descriptions on the most severe incidents, of which there were 37 in 2025. I scraped the 37 PDFs for California incidents for 2025 from the DMV website, processed them to extract the descriptions, and then asked a couple of LLMs to characterize them in terms of who was at fault. The LLMs more or less agreed with each other, and I will include the Grok summary here as I found it the most useful and easiest to share. Out of the 37 incidents described, the Waymo vehicle was at fault in 11 cases, approximately 30%, primarily due to collisions with fixed objects or improper maneuvers of these faults. 8 occurred in manual mode under test driver control, often in parking lots or during lane changes, while 3 were in autonomous mode, involving failures to avoid detectable road objects like utility lines or a dumbbell. In the remaining 26 cases, 70%, the Waymo vehicle was not at fault, with the majority being rear-end collisions by other vehicles while the Waymo was stationary or slowing appropriately, or sideswipes by passing vehicles. Overall, incidents in autonomous mode show low fault rates, mostly involving sudden or unavoidable hazards, highlighting the human driver errors. In manual mode or other vehicles contribute significantly to these accidents. I hope this summary gives a better flavor of the challenges and risks Waymo is currently experiencing and shows that they aren't mowing down toddlers in raincoats any more than Tesla is. Yes, we don't want to fall victim to the Dan O'Dowd alarmism, get this off our streets, right? But we also don't want the other extreme, which is Waymo has it all figured out and Tesla's way behind, right? That's not the one. Neither of those is the truth. The truth lies somewhere in between. And even for the ones where Waymo wasn't at fault, I've seen a lot of videos of Waymos doing a lot of things that normal human drivers don't do, like reversing from a green light. I've seen Waymos do that, reversing through an intersection, driving the wrong way. So even if another vehicle was at fault for colliding with them while they were doing insane maneuvers like that, because the ramming vehicle had more damage to the front end, I would still say the Waymo contributed to some of these accidents they weren't at fault for by doing dumb stuff. The world is a messy and idiosyncratic place, and you cannot prevent all accidents from happening. So it's another good reminder from James Dalma here that there are going to be Tesla robotaxi accidents that are not the Tesla robotaxi's fault. Because if it's on the road, any other vehicle could crash into it, right? While it's stopped waiting to turn left, somebody could ram into it. I was in a car accident that way once. Stopped waiting for a green left arrow, and somebody just hit me. You can't really avoid that kind of accident, especially, well, if you're a human and it comes from over your right shoulder, which is not the direction you were looking while stopped waiting for a green left arrow. Maybe in our autonomous future, Teslas will be so good at seeing approaching vehicles from all directions that they'll take evasive maneuvers to avoid being run into. But for now, we live in a world where where 100% safety and 0% collisions is still impossible. You can't operate a fleet with 1 million vehicles all year and have no collisions, right? Okay, I probably spent enough time on that, but good information from James Dalma doing some extra work where I had not done enough homework. Here's one from Ming at Tesla Ming. Breaking: Model Y Ls were unloaded and moved into Tesla's delivery centers across China today, ahead of deliveries kicking off next Tuesday. Let's get the ball rolling now. So we've seen people taking delivery of their Model Y Ls in China since then. Here's one from Dave Lee. My mom also got her first recently as well, replying to James Dalma, saying my dad's first robot car. Check it out. You got a newly refreshed Model Y here. James Dalma's dad. Congratulations, Mr. Dalma, on your brand new Tesla Model Y. Good work. And I replied, I have uncles and cousins, if I can talk. Uncles and cousins driving Teslas, but can't take credit for encouraging them to. Still waiting for my first immediate family member to get one. Yeah, you would think I would be better at talking people into buying Teslas, but so far, not that everybody is out there buying lots of rival luxury cars throughout my family. Not everybody wants to spend a lot of money on a car, right? Here's one from James Stevens in the Tesla community. Let's see what the original post was here from Jeeves, Texas. Who's the top Tesla influencer? Is it Sawyer Merritt? Holmar's blog. This is, who's this? That, that's somebody. You got Tesla Boomer Mama, Alexandra Mertz there. I guess that could be Nick Cruz Patane, huh? Sawyer says, no need to rank anyone. A lot of people bring good perspectives, insight, and value. It's a great community. And that is the right diplomatic answer to give in this situation. James Stevens replying 100%. Everybody brings something different to the table. Good example would be, how do you compare Joe Tegmeyer and James? Their content is equally valuable, but utterly, utterly different. I replied, it was a pleasure to meet both Sawyer and Joe at the Cybertruck First Deliveries event in Austin. Yes, we were all creating different content that helps the community. And I hope nobody ever asks us all to switch jobs. Joe said, I agree. I'd make some pretty terrible charts, and I said I'd make some pretty lousy drone flyover videos. So that was fun. Next post that I liked came from Sawyer Merritt. Breaking: Tesla has revealed a cyber SUV model in their new Sustainable Abundance video. The mini models can be seen in the background of the Tesla design studio behind the clay cybercab in the video. Whether Tesla will release a cyber SUV remains to be seen, but based on these models, they've at least thought about it and come up with some designs. It looks like there could be a couple different cyber designs on the shelf. Video in thread. Yeah, check it out. These look like the computer-generated images of Toyota EVs that they released like 6 years ago now. I remember getting a direct message from the imposter hiding behind the fake name Brad Munkin back when we would DM each other. And he was warning me to get out of my Tesla stock because Toyota was coming with EVs that looked like this. And they clearly, in the screenshot that he sent me, had never existed, not even in mule form. Like, they didn't even make a prototype of these EVs. They were only CG renders of what a Toyota EV might look like, and they kind of looked like this. So props to Tesla's design studio for at least making them miniature models if they didn't make them full-size prototypes. But that was interesting, and I thought I would share it with you in case somehow you missed that one from Sawyer. He posts a lot, so maybe you missed that one. Here's one from Bradford Ferguson at Brad S. Ferguson on X, executive producer of this program and owner of Rebellionaire.com. We shall call him Mini Megapack. Breaking: the new Tesla PowerPack 3 hiding in plain sight. Tesla appears to be experimenting with a 1/8 size Megapack. Each Mini Megapack has 3 battery modules, 36 times the capacity of Powerwall. Battery capacity between Megapack and Powerwall. So we got some fun little images here of who knows what we've got here. That could be it. There were guesses in the replies from people saying maybe it's not a mini Megapack. 0.5 megawatt hours would be a good size for your average commercial building, or if you're a millionaire with a huge house and you're totally price insensitive and you just want a heck of a lot of battery backup for your house in case the power is out for a week or whatever, and you don't mind dropping, I don't know, 1/8 of a Megapack, $125,000-ish? No, $250,000-ish. They're $2 million each, huh? Plus packaging and install and everything. So I don't know, maybe you would sell them for 300 grand a piece. That's a lot for a private residence, but if you're a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, maybe you would rather have that than have a blackout at your house where you live. Need one of those. Looks just like the modules that come together to make one Megapack. A Megapack is 8 columns of 3 large battery modules. PowerPack 3 is 1 column of 3 modules. All right. So a lot of good comments here. Either that or in-housing the bulky peripherals. So maybe it's a matching housing to go around these things that go at the ends of the Megapacks to make them look more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know, maybe these things need cooling, though, and if they do, you wouldn't want to put a housing around them because they would get too hot and overheat. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I am not a Megapack expert. Here's one from Joe Tegmeyer. This is a short video clip from my full video coming out later today. This is a brief discussion about a new Cybercab test vehicle undergoing wind tunnel testing and with numerous changes that show this is no longer a prototype, but a first-level production test article. Also, the Cybercab production line setup is making great progress as Tesla moves closer to bringing the Cybercab reality late this year and into 2026. This video clip is a small section of my full video that will be released later today and covers my recent visit to Giga Texas.
It does have side rear view mirrors. It's the first time we've seen that with Cybercabs, which is different. Also, it does have a steering wheel. When we were out at X Takeover, Lars Moravi did talk about that. He said they use them for engineering and testing. They also don't have the window tint that we have seen on the test vehicles around Giga Texas. We also see here some sort of aero flap or a light reflector just in front of the front wheels. And then speaking of which, the wheel covers are not on. They have different kinds of wheels, and I think this is all part of the aerodynamic testing that they are doing with this configuration. The rear bumper has a slightly different lower treatment than we've seen on the prototypes. And also, it has a new kind of a side decal. I really can't quite read what it is. It says something and Cybercab, but pretty neat to see this difference. But anyway, this is yet another indication that they are getting much closer to having the production lines set up and getting ready for production later this year.
All right, there you go. Good information from Joe. And the 7-spoke hubcap on that wheel lets you know that's a Franz von Holzhausen design. He is a sucker for the 7-spoke. I don't know why. He just likes it. Here's one from Tesla, Master Plan Part 4. That's out. I'm not going to read you Master Plan Part 4 because it's very long and it sounds like way more corporate MBA speak than most stuff Tesla puts out. Like usually Tesla's master plans are very short and very easy to read and very memorable and very kind of audacious in how they're phrased. And this thing isn't. This is very, very business planny in my estimation. So it contrasted in my mind versus the previous master plans that Elon wrote himself with just a few lines and then stopped. This one goes on for paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. Even though Elon said that Master Plan Part 4 would be brief, it was the longest. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree with any of that. Here's one from Nick Cruz Patane. Yeah, that's who that is. I guess I never just gazed at his profile pic long enough to make sure I knew that's who that was. This is what sensor fusion looks like. Yeah, Waymo wants to go say, hey, Tesla, you need to learn from us. We've mastered sensor fusion. We don't have any problem making our LiDAR and our radar and our cameras all agree. And when they tell us different stuff, we know how to handle it because we're smart and we wrote great software that handles the situation for us. Well, what do you think from this Waymo? Trying to make a left turn. Plenty of open spots to go. Could have gone. Could have made it. Plenty of time. Plenty of time to have made that turn. Reversing instead. Why are you reversing? Waymo, trying to make a left turn. What are you doing? Don't reverse. Don't reverse. Yeah, so this is the kind of antics I'm talking about. The shenanigans that Waymos will get up to on their own with their sensor fusion. Their superior sensor fusion over at Waymo. They know how to drive. They don't. They can give Tesla tips on how to drive better. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt News. Edmunds has rated the new Tesla Model Y the best car they've driven in 2025 after testing more than 200 vehicles. I kind of hate Edmunds, so I didn't retweet this, or did I? I didn't retweet it because I think Edmunds is just terrible, and I wouldn't mind if they stopped existing. But they gave Model Y a good review here. The ride quality is perhaps the best among its competitors, and those interior build quality issues, they're entirely gone. The cabin took a much-needed leap forward in both fit and finish and materials alike. Its other positives still remain. There's an incredible amount of cargo room between the large trunk and frunk. Acceleration is plenty quick enough for the everyday haul, and you'll net well over 300 miles of range as long as you don't drive like an absolute loon all of the time. We get that its minimalistic interior won't be for everyone, but hey, at least you get a turn signal stalk. All right. So maybe Edmunds is under new management. Maybe just somebody smart works at Edmunds now, reviewing cars. I don't know what happened, but a good review there on the Tesla Model Y. Here's another one from Nick. Researchers at the University of Michigan have released a study that proves EVs are always cleaner than gas cars. An electric truck with a 300-mile range emits 37% less CO2 than an ICE-only compact car over the course of its life, according to researchers. A 6,600-pound Cybertruck is less damaging than a Honda Civic over its life cycle. So there you go. Drop this one on your favorite Tesla hater the next time they tell you that EVs aren't as clean as ICE cars are, because long tailpipe theory, or because Taylor Ogan said so. Here's one from Elon Musk saying, good. What's good about this? Oh, Graham Linehan will sue the Metro Police of London. Good, he should. They arrested him at the airport when he arrived. This is Graham over here, and this is the Metro Police Commissioner, I guess. I know. Yeah. So he had tweeted some jokes, as TV sitcom writers sometimes do. Like that. What else would you follow a TV sitcom writer for than to read their edgy jokes, right? So he made some edgy jokes about trans women and got arrested for them in England, because that's what they do in England. They arrest you for making jokes, even if jokes are your profession and you're good at it. This is the creator of the IT Crowd, if you didn't see my post. If you love the IT Crowd, this guy is the reason why you love the IT Crowd. He created it, he wrote it, and he directed it. He didn't cast it. He didn't star in it. But all the funny situations and jokes in that show sprang from Graham's mind. And when he flew in from Ireland, where he lives, to London, they arrested him and had to take him to the hospital because his blood pressure spiked. And his one bail condition was that he not post on X. So you won't see any more posts from @Glinner, Glinner. That was his handle on X. And Elon is happy that he is suing the Metro Police. Did I reply? I guess I didn't reply. Okay. Here's one from Holmar's catalog. This is Omar. Porsche claims they will be the first automaker to offer wireless charging for their EVs. The electric Cayenne will be the first Porsche that can be ordered with a charging coil on the vehicle starting in 2026. Not standard factory equipment. Optional extra if you order online, I guess. The unveil will be at the end of this year. The 11 kilowatt charger is what Porsche calls one box, meaning aside from the charging pad on the floor pictured below, there's no need for a separate wall box or control unit, which is great. Porsche claims the efficiency of the unit is up to 90%. Data shows that owners of electric Porsches already charge at home about 75% of the time, so you don't have to plug it in anymore. You just park it over the wireless charging pad. This will be an optional add-on for the Cayenne that you have to pay for, so not all Cayennes will support it. The car will actually lower itself down automatically to get close to the charging pad, the same way you might set your cell phone on a Qi wireless charging pad to recharge it. The floor plate weighs 50 kilograms, 110 pounds, so it's not lightweight, and is equipped with both Wi-Fi and LTE for software updates. Finally, somebody else besides Tesla thought about software updates over the air instead of making you bring it into the dealership. That would be the worst. Wireless charging will launch first in Europe with other markets to follow. So good stuff there. Maybe it'll prompt Tesla to do something similar. We know the Cybercab will have wireless charging and that supercharger stations are going to get these so that Cybercabs can recharge at them. But for now, Tesla's driverless ride-hailing network is all Model Ys that charge the regular way with a plug. All right, here's one from Sawyer Merritt. Lucid has released its first ad with Timothy Chalamet. Lucid recently signed a multi-year partnership with Timothy for him to become the automaker's first ever global brand ambassador. We'll check this video out for a few seconds.
What is this thing?
We're gonna find out.
Here they come.
Hold on here, hold on.
All right, so I guess the point of this commercial is Lucid. We make cars so great you'll want to steal them and be chased by the cops. That's the premise. I mean, it's not the worst commercial I ever saw. I saw people panning it. I mean, it's memorable, right? That's what you want your commercial to be. It spelled the name of the brand right on there. Lucid needs to do something if they want to sell a whole lot more cars. Maybe this will help. I don't know how much they had to pay Timothy Chalamet. His services shouldn't come cheap. After being the star of the Dune movies, most recently made. Here's one from Farzad. Elon keeps getting snubbed by the White House. At this rate, he's going to create his own government on Mars. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been thinking about creating his own government on Mars for a long time. That realization hitting Farzad towards the end of his sentence, he joked. That's a well done post. Here's one from the Limiting Factor at Limiting the. Love my Tesla. It just always getting better. So now there is a low power mode that disables energy consuming features when you are not in the vehicle. Enables automatically when below 20%. So here's the reflection of Jordan Giesecke with his fingers and his phone here and his dirty screen. So you know this is a legit photograph that doesn't belong to anybody else. Jordan took this himself. Here's another one from Omar. I'm hearing rumors that Zach from Jerry Rigs Everything. There was a rumor. From now on, yeah. Why did I like this? All right, so there was a post from Jerry, Zach Nelson, earlier in the week, where he said, I'm hearing rumors that Tesla will always have a driver in the driver's seat of their robotaxi network from now on. And he got away with it by saying, I'm hearing rumors. Like, you're allowed to say anything on X without getting community noted. If you say, well, I just heard rumors, it's just a rumor. I'm only asking questions here. Hey, have you guys also heard the same rumor that I heard? That's how he structured his sentence. So Omar made fun of him by making an outlandish rumor about Zach Nelson, he of Zach's Jerry Rig, that I found to be witty in a farcical, parodic way. Quickly moving on to the next post that I liked from Tim Busby. Bill, the all-wheel drive Model X with Lux package, $100,000 total price, includes free charging and FSD. Also, the trade-in process in the app is easy. Wish granted. Who's he replying to? Who is the Bill who's looking for a better deal on a Model X? Well, it's Bill Ackman. It's billionaire Bill Ackman of Pershing Square Capital, who's worth, I don't know, $6 billion. Replying to Elon Musk saying, please reply to this post with any difficulties you may have had in trying to buy a Tesla. He got 64,000 replies and maybe 1,000 of them were about difficulties people had in trying to buy a Tesla, and the others were all off topic, including this one from Bill Ackman. Our goal is for the purchase and delivery experience to be fast and simple with accurate answers to your questions. The key test is that you would recommend it to a friend. How did Bill Ackman reply? Like, I'm hating hard on this guy right now because of the content of this post. And he was shredded mercilessly in the comments for complaining the way he did. I'll just read it to you. I would love to get a new Model X, but I have been too busy to do so, and I don't want to lose my free charging. If you make it easy to trade in an old model on fair terms and I can keep my free charging, I would buy a new Tesla tomorrow. Like, you don't get rich by blowing money constantly at every turn, but there is a certain threshold at which you should stop publicly telling people that you need something to be free before you need the deal sweetened before you can pull the trigger on $100,000 automobile. So Tim Busby helpfully jumping in here saying, hey, you get free charging NFSD if you buy the Model X with a Lux package. $100,000 is a very, very tiny fraction indeed of the liquidation value of Bill Ackman. So I liked that reply. Good work, Tim Busby. Here's one from Futuraza. Brian White. Oh no. Now what will the clown do? It's not like he can just go set up a new account for free and keep on keeping on like nothing happened. What are we talking about here? Well, it's me with my post, Attention Community Notes, this disguised ad for Fred Lambert's forthcoming motivational workshop series entitled Self-Awareness in Me, Making Friends Online the Fred Lambert Way is obviously a violation of X policy. What did Fred Lambert say this time? He said, Omar, your lack of self-awareness is reaching psychopath levels. Fred Lambert, in his latest lack of self-awareness post, like if there's anybody who shouldn't be accusing others of having a lack of self-awareness, it's Fred Lambert, with a screenshot here from Tesla Q member, the Magic Berry Peddler, saying, here's the lying coward Omar admitting he threatened to dox a prominent Tesla Q account because he hurt his feelings. Please report this cult member for his abhorrent behavior. Omar replied, nah, he's obsessed with Tesla, only deleted his account because he was worried about getting doxed. The Magic Berry Peddler replying, I wonder who he was worried about doxing him, you liar, lying spineless coward. And Omar replied, me, because I followed him on LinkedIn, but I never threatened to dox him. The reason you guys are anonymous is that you are literal lying spineless cowards. That's what they're accusing us of being, and it's what they are. Try not being rude to people online, and you won't have to live in fear of people finding out who you are. If you were just not a bad person online all the time, it wouldn't matter if people knew who you were, because you would be able to stand by all of your posts. Who is the Tesla Q account in question? It's Grant Belden, or rather, the person hiding behind the fake name Grant Belden. They did delete their account only a day after I embarrassed the heck out of them for saying that Waymo, as soon as Google spins off Waymo, Tesla's in real trouble. Well, no, Waymo will be in huge trouble if they have to go find another $5 billion per year worth of capital to raise in the equity market or in the bond market. Or any other way they can get their hands on cash. How will they raise the extra $5 billion per year they're going to need every year until they can figure out how to turn around their business model? Because I don't know very many people who want to invest, which is throwing your money into an incinerator as it stands currently. I let Grant know that. He didn't delete his account because he was embarrassed of his interactions with me, because I've schooled him lots of times over the years, and he doesn't care because that name, Grant Belden, has no repercussions on his real life. So he can say anything he wants and never feel bad about it and never change his tune on anything. But as soon as Omar followed him on LinkedIn, he wiped out his account. He deleted it. The real person who created the Grant Belden account got scared and deleted the Grant Belden account completely. He exists now only in the screenshots people like me took while he was still around. So that's what Futurazza was replying to. He probably has already set up a new account for free and kept on going like nothing happened. What did he have? 2,500 followers? Something like that? He can make that back by retweeting Tesla Q members for a while. It's exactly like that. Yeah, that's what it's like. It is. It has probably already happened. I just said, and now I'm repeating myself. JGenMD, I remember saying, a prominent Tesla Q account. I replied, this wasn't just any nitwit. This was a prominent nitwit. So I guess that's why I didn't like it, because he had an F-bomb in that reply that I didn't want to show my family audience. Here's one from CERN Basher that I liked. Report of the Special Committee of the Board of Directors of Tesla, Inc., Part 1. So if you want a really good write-up on Elon's new proposed compensation package, 2025 CEO Performance Award from the Tesla board that shareholders will be voting on, drafted up by Chairman of the Board Robin Denham, along with the other Finance Committee members, the only other independent board member, Kathleen Wilson Thompson. I guess the Delaware courts said everybody else on the board has some reason that they like Elon Musk that makes it illegal for them to be involved in the setting of his compensation plan goals. So only two Tesla board members, Robin Denham and Kathleen Wilson Thompson, were allowed to collaborate on what the bonus plan would look like this time. So I can't read you all this, obviously, way too long. But there is a fun chart in here. And you know what a big sucker I am for charts. I love a good chart. So yeah, if people say, hey, this is easy, and Elon will find it easy to hit all these market cap guidelines, well, is it easy to be worth 36 times General Motors, 29 times Ferrari, 12 times Toyota, 4 times JP Morgan Chase, 6 times Oracle, twice the market cap of Amazon? I should know what this one is, but I don't. 3 times as much as Meta, the Zuckerberg Facebook company. 2.5 Alphabets, 2 Apples, 2 Microsofts, or 2 Nvidias. That's what the market cap goals are in Elon's plan. Shareholders will be plenty happy if Elon can achieve half of these. That would be pretty great. What's that one? Almost $5 trillion if he gets half. Under all previous CEO Performance Award packages, Elon has gotten all of the tranches. So go read that if you want more information on that. Here's one from BR Cooper @_BR Cooper. Some people never learn. He's replying to a thread begun by Omar. Wow, 10 million FSD subscribers. Tesla board proposes Musk pay deal worth up to $1 trillion. Yeah, 10 million FSD subscribers. Undercover Tiger replying, so it's clear most of this won't happen. More fluff as usual. Well, it won't happen if the same percentage of people buy FSD that have been buying it so far. But it's achievable if, in the future, FSD is so much better than it is today that a whole lot more people think it's worth it to subscribe to FSD. So, yeah, probably there won't be a 50% take rate on 20 million vehicles sold, but maybe there will be. I don't know. It could happen. The retweet here was of what CNBC Squawk Box reaction was when the 2018 CEO Performance Award was launched. They called it crazy. Dare I say crazy? He'll never be able to grow Tesla's market cap from the current 50 billion to 650 billion, 13 times as much. There's no way he can do it. And then he did in 4 years instead of in 10 years. So yeah, people doubt, but don't bet against Elon Musk. He can do stuff. Here's another one from CERN Basher, summary of the 2018 Performance Award with backtesting analysis. I liked this one too from CERN. Yeah, if you look at Tesla's 2018 CEO Performance Award package, and you see how many other CEOs would have received their compensation if they had had the same plan at their company. 79% of CEOs failed to achieve even one tranche, 13% achieved just a single tranche, 7% achieved 2 tranches, and only one company, Jensen Huang at NVIDIA, achieved 3 tranches. These findings underscore the rigorous performance demands embedded in Tesla's 2018 CEO performance. So that was a fun thought experiment with Tesla achieving 12 market cap goals and 12 financial goals, earning 12 tranches. NVIDIA earned 3. And that was the closest anybody got. And NVIDIA's been a great investment. So some say as good or better than Tesla. Here's one from Satoshi. The previous 2 comp packages, no one believed that it would be possible unless you believed in Tesla's vision and mission. Even then, Elon accomplished it much quicker than planned. $8.5 trillion market cap is so far out. Yet, when the day Tesla arrives to that, I will revisit this post for everyone who would have been great to show for the 2012 and 2018 comp package achievements. Yeah, Satoshi's been investing in Tesla from the beginning. He was in line to get his shares when Tesla IPO'd. That's how long he's been investing. Here's one from Max DeZegger. You can see Satoshi in old videos of Elon apologizing to deposit holders on the Roadster for how delayed Tesla was in getting them their Roadsters and how they had to charge more for them just to break even on them. Max DeZegger runs Tesla's charging network. His description is, building superchargers since 2014. We are now also selling superchargers fully managed by Tesla. Our goal is to accelerate charging ubiquity by making the best charging tech available for any business, to accelerate charging affordability through more supply and competition, to accelerate installation cost efficiency through more installers and our economies of scale, to accelerate charging experience improvements for both Teslas and non-Teslas through nonstop software updates and with the dependability of Tesla service and engineering. It might not be for everyone, as we do not offer customizations. To stay focused, this is a simple end-to-end charging solution that works out of the box and that customers and buyers already love. The dependability and magic that superchargers are known for can be purchased for your business. So if you want a Tesla supercharger at your business, get in touch with Max DeZegger. Tell him you want them installed at your place, and he will quote you to install them, and Tesla will maintain them for you. So you don't have to worry about, hey, how do I take care of Tesla superchargers and make sure they stay in good working order. Tesla will just add it to the regional maintenance plan for the regular Tesla superchargers. And the North American charging standard plug is going to be on everybody's EVs. It's not like you're supporting Tesla only. You're providing chargers that will work to plug into anybody's EV going forward. So great stuff there from Tesla. How to make this business unit more profitable. How about getting some revenue for supercharger installations? That's a good idea. Here's one from Nolan Arbaugh. We talked about Neuralink earlier. He's one of the Neuralink recipients. And He says, my dad and cousin were messing around with Grok at our last family get-together, and this is what they sent me. One of the wildest things I've ever seen. You just feed a still image to Grok, and you say, hey, animate this. And the way Grok chose to animate it was to show Nolan standing up out of his motorized wheelchair and walking, because it doesn't know any better, right? Nolan is confined to a wheelchair all the time since his diving accident many years ago. Neuralink has offered him unprecedented independence and the ability to run computers and play computer games and talk to computers, have an active social media life, all kinds of good stuff from at Modded Quad. Nolan Darbaugh, who's got a great sense of humor as well, if you've never seen an interview with him. He's a happy Neuralink chip recipient. Here's one from Tesla Lover Girl at Tesla Love Girl. How to turn off the passenger air. Tesla, did you know this? Hashtag Tesla. Hey, check it out. When the air is on, you can just tap and hold on the passenger side and it'll turn off only that side. And then you can tap it again and it'll turn it back on again. So if you didn't know that, there's your pro tip of the week. Ryan McCaffrey would call it if this were an episode of Ride the Lightning. Here's one from Eli Burton, Marshal of Subtard. I mean, yeah, it does barely fit. What's he replying to here? It is Cybertruck saying every other truck and Cybertruck. Cybertruck is a spaceship in your garage. And Eli made a great joke here. It does barely fit. Like it's all the way resting against the wall on this side. And in danger of getting bumped by this door if somebody wants to climb into this vehicle. So good stuff there from Eli, who's got a good sense of humor. Here's another one from Max, making charging ubiquitous. So there's the post if you wanted to go find it. I like that too. Here's one from Tesla Chan, fellow Rebellionaire Lion. Hashtag Tesla, children's favorite car. It succeeds. Tesla made a wonderful product called the Model Y L once again. So this is the 6-seat Model Y. And they didn't even put the littlest kids in the back, which is what the haters would have told you. The Model Y didn't have room for a third row unless they were little itty-bitty kids with tiny, short legs. Only a person that small could fit in the back. We saw a video last week of 6 grown men all fitting comfortably in a Model Y L. So these kids love their new Model Y L and the rear screen that they can play games on, I guess. Here's another one that I liked from Ryan's Model Y at Ryan J. Cowan. Testing full self-driving supervised in Australia. Let's give Autopark a try.
Wow. Okay, how about roundabouts? Perfect. Dirt roads? Yes. Okay, so this is a school zone and changes down to 40 kilometers instantly. Right-hand turn across traffic. A pretty tricky spot, to be honest. Wow. Absolutely nailed it. This is crazy. I'm starting full self-driving.
All right. In Australia, the right-hand turns are the tricky ones. An unprotected right turn in Australia is the hard one to make. So good post there. Here's one from Tom Nash at I am Tom Nash. Tesla shares are heading into the weekend carrying 3 big stories: Elon's $1 trillion pay plan, the first Model Y in India, and a public robotaxi app. Bears still count cars. Bulls count revolutions. Yeah, we're on to another Elon Musk revolution. This pay package will either result in another huge run-up in Tesla's stock price over the next 10 years or sooner, or it won't. If it does, Elon will get paid, and if it doesn't, he won't. So which of those do you think is going to happen? He wants to fund missions to Mars. He wants to fund hundreds of missions to Mars per cycle. Nobody else has a better plan for spending $1 trillion Even if you gave Sam Altman $1 trillion, he wouldn't know what to do with it, right? I give him some grief over spending $115 billion between now and 2029, being way more money per day than in the movie Brewster's Millions, where the premise was can a person even spend that much money per day? Is it possible to do? Yeah, that's how much his money is accidentally losing. They're trying to be a profitable company and they're failing to the tune of $115 billion over a 4-year period. That's a big loss. Here's one from Professor Stefan Rahmstorff at Rahmstorff on X. Clinging desperately to fossil fuels now, they are on the way out, is a losing strategy. Retweeting Dr. Paul Dorfman at Dorfman_P. China hashtag solar, more energy than big oil. China's solar giants are providing more energy than big oil. The energy that solar companies are providing each year is well above what's available in big oil's geological reserves. I never even heard of Tongwei before, but I guess they are the #1 provider of solar power on our planet, with over 25 exajoules, followed by GCL, Poly, Shinte, Longyi, Jinko. Hey, Longyi is on here twice. I hope this isn't a chart crime. JA Solar. Then you got all these. Exxon, Chevron, Total Energies, Shell, ConocoPhillips, BP, and Eni. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So that chart is a Gavin Mooney joint, I guess. I don't know who Gavin Mooney is, but I gave it a like. Here's one from Warren Redlick. Lost Gerbil is truly lost, with some screenshots of Ross Gerber posts. Basically, if Elon succeeds with his goals, he would be paid the entire current value of Tesla. Well, that's how all the compensation plans have worked in the past, right? Elon says, hey, I would like to buy the whole company today at today's stock price, but I don't have the money to buy the whole company. Can I write you some IOUs, Tesla? And the Tesla board says, sure, you can write us 12 IOUs, but we decide how many of them to let you later use to buy our stock. That's how the compensation plans work. So the board decides, hey, what 12 things do we want to make conditions for these 12 IOUs from Elon saying, hey, I want to buy 1% of the company at today's stock price, but I don't have the money right now. In the future, I think the company will be worth a lot more, and I'll be able to buy these shares then, and only have to sell half of them to pay for the stock and my taxes or whatever. So they've all worked this way. All of Elon's plans have let him buy essentially the entire current value of Tesla. Like he owns way more than $60 billion worth of Tesla right now, because the value of Tesla is like $1.2 trillion or whatever, and he owns 20% of it, or he will if the Delaware courts can overturn Kathleen St. Jude McCormick and let him exercise the right to buy all the shares that are coming to him under his 2018 CEO Performance Award, and then he would have to sell some of those to pay taxes. I think, like, unless he has mystery money that he can pay his taxes with. Has the Tesla board of directors heard of XAI, where Elon is developing AI that is not owned by Tesla? How this all ends up will be very interesting. Yes, they've heard of it. They've heard of it so much that we're going to be voting on, if you didn't notice in the proxy statement, whether or not to authorize the board to buy shares in XAI so that Tesla can own part of XAI. I don't think a pay package could be more ridiculous than Tesla's. Just when you thought there was no limit to the madness, you're right. Okay, except that making the company worth 8 times as much is something every investor in Tesla ought to be interested in, right? We sunk our money into Tesla hoping that in the future it would be worth more, because that's what you do when you're investing, right? So the board says, hey, if you can make all of our shares worth 8 times as much, we will let you buy more shares at today's share price. That seems like a pretty fair deal to everybody not named Ross Gerber, I guess. Here's one from Elon Musk. The safety driver is just there for the first few months to be extra safe. Should be no safety driver by end of the year. Man, I sure wish Elon would get into the habit of saying safety monitor instead of safety driver. I think he's saying the safety monitor in the driver's seat. He's just using shorthand for it. The safety driver is doing none of the driving. 100% of the driving is being done by the software. The Model Y's software is driving it within its operational design domain all the time, and it's not alerting a human driver to take over. That would be a level 3 system if it did. Here's one from Dirty Tesla that he was replying to. People are getting through the wait list and getting access to Robotaxi, retweeting Michael Bertino, who said downloaded the Robotaxi app, got on the wait list, and into my ride within 2 hours. Unfortunately, it was supervised with someone in the driver's seat, but still cool. Like, even Michael Bertino said it better than Elon said it in his reply. But I gave it a like anyhow, because I like encouraging Elon to give us information on the safety monitor situation. Here's another one from Elon. Just had a great design review today with the Tesla AI 5 chip design team. This is going to be an epic chip, and AI 6 to follow has a shot at being the best by AI chip by far. I don't know if that's exactly how he wanted to phrase that, but it's how he did phrase it before sending the tweet. Switching from doing 2-chip architectures to 1 means all our silicon talent is focused on making one incredible chip. No-brainer in retrospect. Please join the Tesla Silicon team if you want to work on chips that save lives. Milliseconds matter. Yeah, so good stuff there. One kind of chip for training and for inference. You can do it all with one great chip. Could be wrong, but I think AI 5 will probably be the best inference chip of any kind for models below 250 billion parameters. By far lowest cost silicon and best performance per watt. AI 6 will take that much further. So, replying to somebody here who asked, the best AI chip for cars, you mean? Yeah, for anything, for putting into Tesla Optimus robots, for example, would be another good use case for chips or for training superclusters. Hello from Elon Musk here, replying to the official U.S. Department of Energy Twitter account, saying wind and solar energy infrastructure is essentially worthless when it is dark outside and the wind is not blowing. Yeah, so I rate it as helpful, this note. Batteries allow electricity to be stored and used at a different time than when it is generated, if you have enough batteries. Elon replying with the Tesla Megapack installation here, showing how in South Australia, it's already working. So they've already got enough batteries to power their grid day and night off of renewable energy, even though the sun doesn't shine at night. I replied,
what is the future that we want?
The sun doesn't shine at night, Elon. You should really have thought about that 10 years ago.
Really appealing solar roof, then combine that with storage and with electric cars. So it's an obvious 3-part solution. Yeah, 3-part solution. It's really not that complicated. Now, you need battery packs because the sun does not shine at night. And the point that we're at right now is, in fact, obviously a transition. We're transitioning from day to night. It's dusk. And so what's happening is that the houses are transitioning from the roof generating power to the battery pack, the power wall, producing power. So during the day, you fill up the battery, and then at night, and in dusk and dawn, you use the battery. It's pretty straightforward, really. It's like not that complicated.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. But apparently, 10 years later, for the U.S. Department of Energy, this knucklehead it is that complicated for him, or he's following somebody's agenda. Big Oil's agenda, likely, right? If I had to guess, and I do have to guess because I don't know anything about that guy or his motivations, but I found it pretty funny that Elon replied with that and gave me an opportunity to share that video of the Desperate Housewives presentation, aka the Solar Roof presentation, aka Powerwall 2 unveiling that was actually 8 years ago, but I thought 10 years ago sounded better. Also, they wouldn't have had anything to show 8 years ago if they hadn't already been thinking about it 10 years ago, so it was fine for me to characterize it that way. Here's one from Robert Scoble. Tesla Robotaxi drove me home tonight. I left my car at Unplugged Tesla. I hit a pothole very hard and it broke something. Yikes. I was even looking at the road during this and didn't see it in time. Waymo doesn't yet come to either place. An empty freeway let me see the software that run the Matrix headlights in the new Model Y light up the signs in a much better way than in our Model Y. It cleans the cameras in a far different way too. No takeovers in 12 rides. I do my homework before I mouth off on Whole Mars Blog's subscriber-only show on Sundays. The more experience I get in it, the more bullish I get. Great stuff there from Robert Scoble showing off the capabilities of the latest Tesla Robotaxi. Check it out. And the last post that I like this week came from K10 at Christian Netton. Make the most of it. Have a great Sunday, people of X. Check out this daredevil squirrel who figured out how to be a flying squirrel on top of the exterior blower unit of somebody's air conditioning. That squirrel is just the right weight to do that. And it's pretty funny. So how do you not like that? I gave that tweet a like when I saw it. And with that, Loki and I will sign off from this week's episode after saying thank you to everybody who supports us. That's you. You support me. And Loki, you're putting treats in Loki's mouth every day. I appreciate you for your support, especially my two executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I will see you in the next one.